What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and this is going to be another episode of my best looking maps in Borderlands 2 series. Today we're looking at numbers 10 through 6, and number 10, in my opinion, is the Southern Shelf. This is obviously one of the very first maps in the game, and it's quite large, and I find it quite beautiful as well. Obviously, it's got a very icy, snowy aesthetic, and I like the fact that, it is quite large, and it's one of the first maps in the game where you really face humanoid. It is the first map in the game, I think, where you face humanoid enemies. And so I think that this little area here where you're first introduced to them is quite pretty. It's got these different signs in it, and it gives you a feel of a, real deserted town that's only inhabited by bandits now. And as we get further into the map, we can see some cool stuff. They have these little telescopes around the map where you can look at some scenic locations. That's, I think, used to be the Crimson Raider, or not HQ, but at least an outpost that they had. And then there's, different things as you progress here, like these little bandit out camps that all look pretty neat. And as we go forward here, we'll see some more cool stuff. We'll get up to what I think looks really cool here now, which is this ship that's, kind of stuck here on this ice, and it has this big fiery dragon thing on it. I guess this ship is called the Soaring Dragon, maybe, or it's pretty cool. And basically that was Captain Flint's ship, and all of his, shipmates and crew members have got this little Moxie fapping hut up here. I thought that was kind of good attention to detail. And I also thought that the Captain Flint scene or fight looked awful pretty when all the fire gets going and everything. Obviously the fire damage over time is annoying, but it does look pretty cool up here on this ship, and it's a pretty epic fight as you first progress into the game. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And obviously, if you kill Flint, you can go ahead and jump off his ship as well. I'll get to that in just a minute. But now we're up here actually by the Dragon Head, and as you can see, it's still spitting fire as it was when we were down there looking up at it. And I just thought that was, all good attention to detail and a pretty nice set piece that you could actually run up into and stuff. I just thought it was pretty neat. And so that's why I picked the Southern Shelf as my number 10 best looking map. And I always enjoy, jumping off of it after I do that little enkindling quest where you actually have to take Matchstick up here and light him on fire. I enjoy this jump off. And that's going to bring us to our number 9 best looking map, which is, in my opinion, the Caustic Caverns. Now this might not be everyone's, favorite looking map. It's kind of dreary looking as we look up here. It's real dark. It's supposed to be underground, or under where Sanctuary used to be. But I think it looks pretty cool. I think these doors here are a real nice touch. I think those look nice. And all the different wildlife in here, whether it be Varkids, Crystallis, Threshers, Spider Ants, etc., all help the map to look pretty cool. This map does have a lot of vertical space, and I enjoy kind of looking up at it every now and then. The doll machinery that's scattered around the map I thought was a nice touch. These little Varkid infested areas, I think it looks pretty cool how they have their, I don't know what you call it, their hives, I guess, real built up and everything around the map, and I thought that was pretty neat and a cool look. One thing I did forget to record in this particular video was the Minecraft area, and obviously I think that looks pretty cool. The different doll relics that are around the map look pretty nice as well, like that doll shield that was up there, and the several doll red chests that are about the map as well look pretty neat. There might just be a couple, but there might be a few. Several is probably an overstatement. And so I also kind of like how the maps were, or this map in particular, is all intertwined and interconnected with these different doors you can open that will take you, to different parts of the map. See, we're back here at the start of the map now. And I just thought that was pretty interesting. I do like how the light shines down from the roof there. And I liked this little room as well. Obviously, if you do the Crystallis recording quest, you find out that some of the doll members who were sent here to mine them end up getting killed by the Crystallis, presumably over here in this little corner. And I thought that was a nice touch aesthetically. Another thing I thought that was pretty cool is, all the huge mining equipment that's around the map. It's actually moving and stuff, and I thought that was pretty neat. Now, actually watching all the Threshers and Spider Ants, Varkids, etc. fight each other is also pretty cool. And it makes for a fun little map to fight some enemies in. I also thought that this elevator that we're about to run up on was pretty neat, and I liked going up here in order to finish the rather lengthy quest to acquire the Dominator, which is a pretty bad weapon. I decided to take a look here at these little I-beams that are swaying from this rope here. It kind of gives you the sense that Dahl really abandoned this place as they were in mid-mining operation, and I thought that was kind of neat. And obviously you can get to some high locales and really look down around the area, and I thought it was pretty cool to look over this huge caustic lake area and stuff. I thought it all looked pretty nice. And my pick for the number 8 best looking map in Borderlands 2 is the Dust. Some people might not like this map because it's a little bland, but I think it, adds some good contrast to the game, and it was a pretty cool little area. Obviously people were very critical of Borderlands 1 for being very bland looking throughout and not having anything more than like kind of a dusty aesthetic and everything. But I thought that in Borderlands 2, the Dust was a nice kind of throwback to that, and I really enjoyed it. I like those little windmills that spin around. I thought that was pretty cool. That was something that I think was also featured in Borderlands 1. And obviously this is a really large map with several distinct areas. This is the little buzzard camp that exists, and obviously there is a quest to come up here, and I think that it looks pretty nice. It's well made. All of the Dust, I thought, they paid some good attention to detail. Those huge rock spires that are about, or cliff thingies, they all look pretty cool. I thought that the little hodunk, I don't know what you'd call that, a trailer park? Yeah, I think that's what they call it in the game. The hodunk trailer park was a nice touch, and I thought their little raceway was a nice touch as well. I'm driving through it now just so you can see it, and I like to do this little jump at the end. Obviously I really enjoyed the Clan Wars quest, and so that's part of the reason I really like all of this stuff that is related to the Clan Wars quest. And the Dust obviously has, several different mini-bosses, one of which we're about to get to right now, and I thought that this particular one was a nice touch. It gives you the sense that McNally is a little crazy person, living out here completely alone in isolation. And I thought that was pretty neat. You can see his house here. I think it looks pretty cool. And obviously McNally, I thought he looked pretty cool too. We don't get a real good look at him here because he gets slagged and stuff. But he has scissors in his ears where he tried to, stab out his eardrums after listening to the Bane. And I just thought that that was good attention to detail. Another area we can check out in this map is the whole church area that's behind Ellie's garage if you work your way back through the Spider Ant Gulch. And that's pretty neat because I thought it was a pretty cool little area, and it gave a sense of a kind of showdown between two mercenaries or outlaws, and I thought that was pretty neat. So we're gonna head up there now and look at that. That area down there where the bandits fight the spider ants is also pretty aesthetically pleasing in my mind. Also the spider ant hives look pretty cool as well. So here, there's a church with a graveyard, and I thought that this particular area in the Dust looked especially pretty. And obviously we get Gettle and, I can't remember the other one's name, we'll see it in just a second, Gettle and Mobley to fight here, and I thought that was pretty cool. Gettle actually dropped a Lyuda for me when I killed him here, so that's pretty to look at too, I guess. And I thought that, Gettle and Mobley were well-designed looking characters. I was just trying to look at the parts that were on that Lyuda real quick. Decided to pick it up here before moving on. And again, this little area down here where the spider ants, get in a fight with the bandits and they have these little buildings are pretty neat. Another thing I forgot to mention when I first came to Ellie's garage is that I really liked those little Ellie figurines. I thought that those looked pretty cool. And they just kind of made me laugh as well, but they're just like miniature versions of Ellie, and I thought that was cool. I also really liked this Lynchwood train station. I thought that was pretty neat. And you can look out into the distance after you either, kill all the Hodunks or kill all the Zaffords like I did in this case, because I sided with the Hodunks on my 0 UVHM playthrough. And you can see that, it goes out to Lynchwood way out there, and you can see that that's kind of the path that the train would travel to get out to Lynchwood, which you can kind of see in the distance. And I thought that was pretty neat. My number 7 best looking map in Borderlands 2 is Marcus's Mercenary Shop. And this is a headhunter pack. Obviously you first come into this map, and it looks pretty cool. You're in this little shop, and it's well designed. And I like this little miniature train set. That was pretty neat. I thought that was good attention to detail there. And if we walk out here, it's kind of like walking into a winter wonderland, and that I thought all of these snow particles that were coming down were a nice touch. Obviously, I liked this Gingerton sign as well, and once you get into Gingerton, it looks pretty cool down there. That little singing psycho is pretty cool. We'll get to him in a minute. But, you know, the Christmas tree and all these gingerbread houses I thought looked pretty cool. Another thing that I thought was really well done in this particular map was this boss summoning scene. I liked how those bells operated. Now you could look really far into this icy lake and see that this giant snowman is going to wake up, grab this hat, and come fight you. One of the movies I really liked as a kid was Frosty the Snowman, and so I kind of enjoyed, you know, the snowman having that magical hat there. The particle effects when the snowman kind of shoulders into that wall there are pretty neat as well. Got a good fight against the snowman here, but obviously that's not what this video is about, so I'm just going to skip to the end where I knock off his hat, and then we'll go check out the train coming into town in Gingerton, which I thought was a well done animation. All these little snowmen and stuff, I thought that they were pretty cool. Their faces are actually pretty animated for, you know, snowmen, I guess you'd say. I don't know why I think they wouldn't be animated, but, you know, obviously they're just supposed to be snowmen and stuff, and their faces make me laugh. So, as we can see here, we got this Tiny Tim guy, and if we pull this, this train's going to open up and give us some presents, and I thought that that looked pretty cool. We didn't get anything cool this time, but obviously that is a good place to go ahead and acquire some gear. And so I thought that this map was, you know, very pretty, and all of the Headhunter maps, for the most part, do look pretty cool. And, you know, there might be some more on this list, or at least one more. You guys probably know which one I'm talking about. So as we progress here, I do want to show you the little singing psycho. I was just looking at that Snyder real quick to make sure that I didn't want it. And so obviously this little psycho over here who sings, I thought that this was really well done, and it does add to the aesthetic value of the map in my opinion. He sings a pretty cool little song here. I don't have time to show it all to you, obviously, but, you know, we'll listen to just a little bit of it here before we go on to my number 6 map. Again, I just thought that this was a well done animation, and you can see that smoke coming out of that gingerbread house in the background, and also all the snow particles coming down, and I thought that that all looked pretty neat. The skybox is also pretty well done in this particular map. And so my pick for the number 6 best looking map in Borderlands 2 is the Eridium Blight. Now this is obviously one of the last maps from the main campaign, and I think it looks pretty cool. The lightning in the sky definitely looks neat to me, and the ash falling down adds a little bit to the aesthetic as well. It makes you feel like, you know, you're really right by a volcano, which we'll obviously get to in just a minute because that looks awesome. So I'm just going to drive around the Eridium Blight here and kind of show you. I think all the, you know, really kind of messed up rocks around the area look pretty cool. Gives you the idea that this is some real rugged terrain, and I like the contrast between that and some of the Hyperion structures that are about, whether it be these Eridium pipelines or these roads that they've built, or several of their, you know, little encampments where they send down enemies to you, like at that gate. And I just thought that that was all a nice contrast where you really see, you know, the difference between what Hyperion does, which also, you know, does look pretty ugly in comparison to the ugly terrain. Ugly in a good way, though. Ugly in a way that it gives you a good aesthetic feel, you know, really kind of despising Hyperion and stuff. And this slag scar area, or this, you know, real torn up area here under this bridge in the middle of the map, I thought that that looked cool, and it was really showing you how the Eridium kind of rose out of the ground after the opening of the vault. Again, we saw some lightning in the sky there, and I think that that's a nice little touch. It adds a little bit to the map for me. We keep seeing that lightning coming, and that looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't have time to show you all the map, like some of the little bandit things that went on in Jack's grandma's house, which does look pretty neat, because I have to get to this volcano, which looks awesome. We can see it off here in the distance, and we can actually climb it, and I thought that this was a real cool touch. Obviously there is a quest, or not a full quest, kind of like a mini hidden quest where you grab a ring from Claptrap's fire and then you walk it all the way to this area, and that was really neat. If you haven't done that little Lord of the Rings Easter eggs, I recommend it. And so the this is going to be kind of where this episode ends as I ascend this volcano. And I wanted to do this because I thought it looked really cool, and the first time I did it, it did really impress me. You know, we can look down here on the Eridium Blight and see how it looks and everything. And as we ascend further up the volcano, we get some cool effects as we go through this. Obviously, I thought the lava was well done. And I've seen some games, you know, try to do lava poorly. Some games that have also done it well, like I think Borderlands 2 does. But obviously, I think Borderlands 2 does it very well. And we get some Hyperion signs and stuff as we first enter the volcano, and then there's no more as we get further up. And it's just pretty neat. We see the lava rolling off there. Obviously, they spend a lot of time on this lava, I think, because they use a lot of the same effects when you go down to fight the warrior, and obviously they want to make the final boss look cool. It's cool how this Earth is shifting around here, or I guess this Pandora, this planet, is shifting around here. And coming out at you and trying to make you feel like you're about to get pushed into the lava. And they give you some cool jumps here, and it all just looks pretty cool in my opinion. You know, this particular ascent here, there's not any enemies except for Geary, who you get to after this. But it all just looks pretty neat. The lava's moving around quite a bit, and I enjoy it all. So as we approach the end of the video here, as always, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it. You can go ahead and try to predict what my, 5 through 1 best looking maps will be. Here's that Geary guy I was talking about. Again, I know I've said it a lot, but that's just good attention to detail. Obviously, that's an allusion to Lord of the Rings, and he does drop customization items. And so as we get further up here, the video is going to get cut off. So if you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe yet, please do so. I'd really appreciate that. Obviously, Borderlands 3 sequel is just around the corner now, and I'll be making a lot of content for that, so if you're interested, it'd probably be wise to subscribe. One more time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys!